currency.
Like a couple Bitcoins.
Money though.
Hold up on my Nakamoto.
Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody, to the Blockchain Dynamic Show.
That's right. It is Sunday, October 22nd, 2017.
It's true. That is the date today. We're calling this one episode number
84.
84, yep.
We had a little bit of a false start, so sorry that we're a little late here.
Yeah, we're a little late. We thought we were recording and we weren't, so we were just talking into the empty world.
This week's show is brought to you by Cryptopia.
That's right. The website is cryptopia.co.nz. Cryptopia is a cryptocurrency trading platform. In addition, they have a ton of other features, but as far as the exchange goes, a lot of really, the solid features that you have kind of come to know and love in exchanges. They have good solid charts, nice customizable security options, and they also just have like a wide variety of coins. Oftentimes newer coins will get listed on places like Cryptopia before they make it to some of the other exchanges.
Right.
So it could be a good spot to spot.
Yes, and
newer projects.
They've been growing a lot the last year. Things are seem well over there.
They have a forums over there on Cryptopia. We have a thread in the altcoins section of the Cryptopia forums. Stop by, leave us some suggestions, just say what's up. We always love it when people stop by the forum thread.
That's right, and we'll take a look at a few of the comments that were on there today later in the show.
It's true.
We also like to give away DOT, which is the native currency over on Cryptopia.
Yeah, that's right. You can buy all kinds of, essentially any of the services you want to get from the forum. You're going to be paying for them in DOT. That includes stuff like coin listings, but there's also, forums and chat features and that kind of stuff.
Yep, we will give away 10,000 DOT in our trivia question today.
Yeah, the way it works is if nobody gets the question, we roll the total over to the next week. Nobody got the question last week. It was, on what day did Bittrex open the Ardor wallet for deposits and withdrawals?
And the answer was October 13th, 2016.
So nobody got that one, so we will be giving away 10,000 dots. Those dots have been looking good, man.
Yeah, they're holding up a little better than some coins, I guess.
Than some of the others.
But yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit.
So the way that we're rolling with the show lately is we're doing like a deeper dive segment every other week, and then kind of mostly just like a news, markets, and listings show on the off weeks. This week we are doing the deep dive segment here. We're going to catch up on some coins, some coins that we have discussed in the past.
Yeah, a lot of these were coins that were on a segment that we called the Rolling Review a while back that we kind of fell out of favor with, but it would be fun to take a look at these again.
Yeah, basically it's like what happened to some of these coins that we've talked about. So we're going to start it off with a little coin called Bismuth.
Bismuth. When we first looked at the Bismuth announcement, it had some things that we were kind of looking for in coins at the time, like a unique code base and a sort of awkward launch.
Yeah, exactly. There was a kind of before that ICO craze, there was a really good market for coins that had a ground up code base, kind of proof of work coins that were built from scratch. Essentially, Vcash was one of the first ones that was really successful, and then PascLite was another one that did really well. And so there was kind of a lot of interest in that market, and Bismuth really fits the mold probably better than just about anything that has come out since.
When it first launched, the mining was pretty obnoxiously difficult just because there was a lot of updates coming out and a lot of different network forks out there because of that.
Yeah, it was
very hard to sync up.
They had set it so that the block speed was really fast. There would just be like every 10 seconds or something, it would find a block every 5 seconds. It made it really hard to actually get your client synced up. So that made it really challenging to actually try to mine it. I think it is a CPU mining coin.
It definitely at least was initially. I don't know if maybe somebody's developed a GPU miner by this point or not.
But this is one of those coins, man. You could have mined it for a long time.
Yeah, and despite that sort of obnoxious beginning, I do think that early miners probably got paid pretty well on this coin now that it's listed on the Heat Ledger and also on Cryptopia.
Well, it's one of those things. It's easy when you're a miner to look at a coin that is new and you try to get set up to mine it, and you mess with you mess with all your software for a long time, and it just doesn't work. It's easy to give up and be like, oh, this is this is stupid, you can't even mine it, it's never going to work. But oftentimes those coins that are difficult to mine end up being the most rewarding. It's kind of obvious if you think about it, but
if there's going to be a future to it, then certainly, other people's reluctance to go through the steps to get it working are going to be to your benefit.
Yeah, exactly. And in those cases, it can be good when a coin sits off exchange for a really long time, like Bismuth did. So those are all pretty good signs for it as far as the mechanics of the distribution and stuff.
Also, taking a look at their Bitcoin thread today, it seems like there's still some pretty good activity in there, but I do see a lot of people having sort of the same problems or similar problems to what we're talking about right now, just a little confusion over which chain they're on and if they're on the correct chain. And some of that confusion seems to be even in regards to the exchanges. Looks like they just had an update recently, so you know how that can be too. Yeah,
I feel like the real advantage of these ground-up coins is that you get an opportunity to reinvent some of the things that are, kind of annoying or cumbersome on Bitcoin, or you can kind of create your own client that has its own features and stuff. Like Pascal went in the direction of having the account system, that distinguished them in that way. But eventually you kind of realize that if all the coin is doing is just being a blockchain, it's a tough sell because the basic script altcoin is really good at just being a blockchain, that syncs up and sends coins and does all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And so it can be hard to just build a ground-up coin and be like, oh, well, this is out there. Essentially, there needs to be like some kind of really distinguishing selling point that you can get with the ground-up type rewrite type coin, maybe that you couldn't get just with a QT or a clone or something.
That would be nice, yeah.
And I'm curious as to what, what's that going to be for Bismuth, right? It wasn't really obvious in Pascal at first that they were going to try and play like that whole account angle. And even that might not have been that, for the long term, that might not even turn out to be that useful of an angle. So I'm curious to know what they come up with for Bismuth or how they're going to actually try to market it.
Cool.
But yeah, it looks promising. Traded on Heat Ledger and Cryptopia. And yeah, I just really like these kind of coins that are super long-term proof-of-work coins.
Okay. Another one we're going to take a look at is Helium.
Helium, we had to cover this one because we joked about it because we saw the announcement and we were like, all right, we are going to cover this coin until the actual thing launches.
we kind of have made it. So it was kind of called an economic fork of Spreadcoin.
Right. But that just means a snapshot, right?
Yes, that is what it was a snapshot.
But is it a fork like BitcoinCash was a fork? Like,
I feel like this is more of like a spiritual successor to Spreadcoin than maybe it lets on it first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like you can have a snapshot and a fork, right? Like a fork would be like a BitcoinCash where all of the transactions in the history of the old chain are still on the BitcoinCash chain. Or you can have the snapshot where it's like they take the balances from the chain at one point and credit them on a new chain that starts from block 0 or whatever.
Right.
Do you know what the case for that is on?
I believe Helium was a snapshot, but
okay.
So people bought a whole bunch of Spreadcoin because the snapshot was going to occur.
Right. Yeah.
Cryptopia has credited people Helium for the Spreadcoin that they had at the time.
Yep.
But the market isn't enabled until the Helium wallet is made public, and I can't really find the details on when that is supposed to happen.
Is Cryptopia the only Spreadcoin market?
No, Bittrex had one as well.
Okay. Have they talked about whether they're going to honor the swap like at all, or is it just?
They're definitely not going to.
Okay.
Would be my. I mean, I'm making that assumption, but it doesn't. I don't see any reason that they would at this point.
Spreadcoin came out in 2014. The idea was to have a coin that wouldn't allow mining pools, so the mining would just be kind of more truly random, more like the original vision, I guess. Whether it's actually better, I couldn't say, but at any rate, Spreadcoin has been around for a long time, I guess.
Yeah. So that one's kind of just feels drawn out to me at this point. It'd be really cool to see this exist as an independent blockchain.
So I guess where we are on this one is that they actually went through with the snapshot, but the client isn't actually out there, so nobody can collect their Helium.
Correct.
All right, cool.
It is supposedly going to be a mineable coin when it gets to that stage, so we'll have to just continue to
That's interesting.
follow it.
Do you know I wonder if it'll follow the Spreadcoin no pool protocol thing, or if it'll be more traditional?
It's a good question.
we'll find out. Yeah, so that is Helium.
Another small, sort of strange coin that we were following for a while there is called Hidecoin.
Hidecoin, Hide.
This looked like a really simple JavaScript-based blockchain when we first saw it.
Yeah, so once again, when we were shopping around for coins back at this point, we were really into these ground-up rewrite code bases. And Hidecoin was one of those, but it was super simple, probably about as simple as a blockchain could possibly be,
Right.
While still doing the basic functions.
Yeah. Once again, same types of mining difficulties, lots of updates coming out, constantly crashing applications.
Right. And eventually, I don't think this ever did get listed. Eventually, did he do like a Hidecoin 2 where it swapped?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and there still seems to be some action there. It's really weird, though, because at one point, in August, the developer kind of posted a call it quits post.
Right, it's like, this isn't working.
And then like a week later, he put strike-throughs in that post and said, here's my new powerful server.
He retracted calling it quits.
Right.
Yeah, this is these kind of coins are interesting because they create such tiny communities unto themselves where it might only be like a dozen people that have really ever participated in a meaningful way in the project.
Right.
And then it's interesting to see just how long some people will stick it out, how quickly some people give it up, that kind of stuff.
Put that one, list that one on the deep back burner for me.
Yeah, exactly. I mined some Hidecoin so long ago, I don't even know if I could claim them at this point.
Right. I bet you could.
But yeah, to my surprise, I guess it's still out there. There's still people interested in the project, and who knows.
Another coin that fits sort of nicely on this list is PascLite.
Right. Once again, kind of similar to some of the previous coins in a lot of ways, but
this one's just directly on the coattails of Pascal, right?
Right. And so the reason I was interested in these kind of coins back then is I was curious to see how the new families of different clone coins would do that were spawned off of these new blockchain bases, especially like, Zcash came out, and then there was Zclassic, and now Zencash, Zero, and all these other kind of forks of Zcash. I was curious to see if the spin-offs of some of these other original platforms would do as well, right? So I was interested, would there be like a Vcash spin-off, a Pascal spin-off, all that stuff. PascLite was kind of the first and best one for Pascal, and so I was kind of curious to see what would happen to it.
Yeah, there were some other Pascal clones too, but this one sort of seemed like it had some traction at certain points. Right now in their thread, they seem like they're not sure what to do exactly. They kind of cloned Pascal, and, that was about, I think, as far as they thought ahead at first.
Well, I guess it's like the conundrum of being the clone is that your fate is permanently tied to the progenitor coin or whatever. So if Pascal's been on a downtrend or whatever, pretty much ever since it had that first listing pump, that means nobody's going to be paying attention to PascLite, right? It's going to be that much harder for him to get any attention or build any momentum of any kind.
Yep. The hash rate has died down quite a bit. The volume trading is pretty much not there. They are still listed on Cryptopia, while Pascal is not. I find that kind of interesting.
That's interesting. I think Pascal got delisted for doing updates without
some wallet issues. Yeah,
without notifying people or something.
That's probably something like
PascLite's
that.
probably just kept the same wallet.
Mm-hmm. So I think that they're still working on it, but it's kind of quiet over there.
Yeah, we're seeing. I'm still curious as far as how that category is going to do. Zencash is pumping like crazy right now. Then you had Zcoin or Zerocoin XZC, which is not actually a clone of Zcash, but it's similar.
Right, it's not a clone.
That's been doing well. It's interesting. I wonder if Pascal comes back, is PascLite going to come back?
Yeah, I wouldn't count on it. But, I think it's nice to have those types of coins out there, even if it's like they can test stuff out that Pascal can't. It doesn't have to be the exact same coin in the future,
Yep.
All right.
Another coin that we talked a lot about is one called Wyvern. I think we just noticed this one because it was a no pre-mine coin that actually had a functioning product working. They had like a really rudimentary website that would...
I don't even think that's out around anymore either.
Yeah, it was like a web store type thing. Yeah, and that disappeared like really quickly into the project. And it did like good volume on CoinExchange and then just kind of disappeared off the map. They did like a weird ICO that I don't think ever went anywhere.
From the thread, it still looks active enough. There's people putting together games to play with each other, it looks like, on the internet, so that's nice.
Interesting. Is there any sign of the development team? Are they still around?
No, I didn't see them in there.
So it's just a community thing at this point?
Sort of seemed that way.
Huh. Yeah, so really not doing too hot there. And yeah, that's our look back, our walk down our old coins list. So good to see. That's surprising to me how many of these, despite not really having made any progress, are still retaining kind of those core communities.
Yeah. Yep. It'll be interesting to see if we can, I just want to keep following these sort of maybe on a larger time frame basis.
Yeah, exactly.
See if they make it anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Keep revisiting them. I mean, it seems like as far as how fortunes are going, Bismuth and Helium are both looking relatively strong still.
They both made it.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit.
They made it through the dark days. Well, we'll see.
Not quite. All right.
Cool. We also are going to cover just some quick thread comments.
Yeah. This one was actually a tweet that somebody messaged me. They said, do you know what will be the future of the KDC clicker?
Now that DOT has gone over to Ubic. KDC clicker is like a kind of a clicking game that Cryptopia put up, like an idling game where you just stack up these fictional cryptos, use them to buy more fictional miners.
From what we can see, they're saying that it's going to close down.
Yeah, I think they just decided to shut it down. It wasn't really integrated into the site in a meaningful way. I think it was more just a kind of a fun side project for them or whatever. And yeah, they are shutting it down, and to my knowledge, it's not going to come back.
But maybe Cryptopia will let us know if that's not the case.
Let's see. We also had a comment from Detective Duck about we had mentioned that we were interested in trying to keep track of GitHub commits and stuff on some of these coins as a way to try and keep up with what's going on with some of these alts. Detective Duck pointed out that CoinGecko has a developer score that kind of attempts to capture that.
Yep.
But it's kind of their service is it's like at a little bit of a high level, and they're applying it broadly to like all coins. So it's kind of it's always going to be like Bitcoin, Ethereum. The big coins always kind of have more development through their aggregate.
That makes sense too, though.
Which does make sense, but we're mostly interested in like weird altcoins, little coins.
But that's a good resource there over on CoinGecko.
It's true, CoinGecko. Check that out. A gentleman named Adi Benaya was hoping that we could get into more depth of explaining some of the jargon and stuff that we use, or explaining some of the more basic coin concepts. We always try to strike a balance, I guess, between having the show be accessible and also not having it be too low level for people that have been in the scene for a while. And so I think we'll probably just, we'll mention things, and you kind of have to absorb some of the terminology over time if it's not familiar to you, I guess.
Probably the easiest way to learn terminology is just to look up individual terms through the web, through the internet.
Right, exactly.
You can't just learn a bunch of terms all at once very easily. Or at least some people are good at that, maybe. But.
So, yeah, we appreciate the feedback there, Adi Benaya.
Yep, appreciate everybody's feedback. And I think we'll go into some news.
That's right. Next up, we love the news. All about that news.
This isn't really news, but I wanted to give a little shout-out to mycryptotools.com, which I found through his MyCryptoTools Twitter this week. It's a really handy little website that can just sort of give you information about which markets are moving in which direction, on Bittrex in particular, I think.
Yeah, you configure a portfolio on it or something?
There is a registration and something related to a portfolio, but I honestly haven't used that part of the website. I've just been on the front page looking at the coin statistics so far.
Right on. Yeah, they've got indicators and stuff. It's pretty cool.
I thought people might enjoy checking it out.
That's mycryptotools.com.
Another thing that caught my attention this week was the Steemit Smart Media Tokens page and white paper.
Okay.
The easiest way to understand this is basically Steem is going to make it so that people can issue their own tokens on top of Steam chain.
So kind of like a Waves type situation. People can just fire off tokens for their own, and then can they what, give them to people on Steemit or something?
The idea would be that, let's say I have my own website. I could integrate my token into my website so that people could receive it for comments or interact with it similarly to how people interact with Steam on Steemit.
So it's like you can almost set up your own network type thing?
Essentially, you interact with your coin your token that you created through their API and different types of endpoints that they'll set up for that.
Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool idea.
So just another token platform type situation, this time through Steemit.
Yep.
Also in the news this week, I guess BitcoinCash has a hard fork coming up. This is funny to me just because they were formed off of a hard fork.
Yeah, this was inevitable, and I think they knew that they were going to have to do it at some point, but does feel like it became urgent quicker than they expected.
So yeah, I guess the problem is that they have this situation where they came up with this difficulty retargeting system that would allow them to keep finding blocks after the fork in the event that they didn't have as much mining power as Bitcoin, because essentially if you do a straight fork of Bitcoin, you'll have the same mining difficulty as Bitcoin, but if you don't have the hash power, you'll never find any blocks.
Right.
And so they put in a fix for that in BitcoinCash, and that it worked more or less while the fork was happening, but apparently it's causing essentially excess volatility in the difficulty kind of day by day, so the mining difficulty is fluctuating more than they want it to, and it's hard to get consistent blocks or consistent mining rewards that way.
Yep.
So they're doing a hard fork. So,
and it doesn't seem like one thing that I noticed in this article that you linked to is they haven't actually figured out what the new difficulty adjustment algorithm is going to consist of.
Oh, they've announced the hard fork, but they don't know what it's going to actually do. That's pretty funny.
Well, they aren't exactly sure how they're. It sounds like they're still developing that, so that's pretty last minute.
Yeah, it's a little.
So, are you going to make some Bitcoin Cash Classic then, Brando?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I want to be the guy who just makes a classic edition of every single hard fork that happens in crypto. All right, that is BitcoinCash. They're doing a fork. It's happening October. Oh no, that's BitcoinGold is happening this week.
Right.
Which is just another Bitcoin fork that I think
That's another piece of news.
I think people are mostly just paying attention to BitcoinGold because of how much BitcoinCash ended up being worth, so they think they're going to get another payday like that.
Right. Well, plus, some people are excited to try to mine it.
That's fair. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
But if it's just a fork, then isn't it's going to be the same problem with the difficulty, right? How are people even going to be able to mine it?
This isn't actually a fork.
Oh, they're changing the algo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They're changing to the Zcash algorithm?
I don't know what the algo is that they're changing to.
I think it's the Zcash one, but
I do know that they're intentionally changing to it so that GPU miners can try to get a piece.
All right.
But in the process of their snapshot, they're also giving themselves a pre-mine, which I think is a little unnecessary.
That's dubious. That's pretty dubious.
But whatever. It's going to happen, and some people seem like they're stoked on it.
Yep. That is the BitcoinGold fork. We also have, in the news this week, there was some problems over at Tezos. The Tezos ICO apparently is in rough shape. There was this big beef between the people who created the token and the person who's running the Tezos Foundation that actually controls the money.
Yeah, it looks like it might have been quite the argument or something, huh? Made it all the way to the desk. This made like national news. The futures price of Tezos crashed quite a bit. I think crashed is relative because it might still be pretty decent relative to the actual ICO price, but I guess the problem here, the people that they came up with this really complicated arrangement for Tezos, where the people who created the coin aren't in charge of the foundation, which administers that controls the ICO money and administers it. The idea is that after the ICO, the foundation would buy the company that the founders of Tezos had created. Sure. And
then it would all just kind of become one organization, but Apparently, it's not playing out too well. Basically, the person who's administering the foundation is being accused of mismanaging the funds. He's accusing them of slandering him and not keeping up with their side of the deal. So it's all just a big mess. It's kind of
It's just a real see you in court situation. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. The real reason this kind of stuff is funny to me is because you take a look at something like Tezos. So the whole selling point of Tezos is that it's going to be this like fantastic decentralized platform that's going to decentralize even more aspects of the blockchain than Ethereum. And it's one of the things that gets taken for granted in Bitcoin is how well the different incentives work out, such that the whole system actually keeps running, right?
Right.
Like the miners have their incentives and the nodes have their incentives, and everybody kind of has their incentive to keep the whole system working. And that's kind of the whole big deal with Bitcoin, right? They're the first one to actually pull that off in a meaningful way. We kind of take it for granted these days.
Easy to, yeah.
But you see, like, what does it say about Tezos here, where they couldn't even set up the governance of their ICO foundation in a way that prevented it from, getting screwed up without going to court.
Right.
When they actually release the blockchain, there's not going to be any option to go to court over anything, right? They have to design the incentive structures on the blockchain that make the whole thing work. And it kind of makes you, calls that into question for me a little bit.
Interesting.
That's the news on Tezos and the infighting there.
Another quick shout out to coinmarketcal.com. It's a good place right now to go check and find upcoming cryptocurrency events.
Yeah, I was going to try and grab some off there, but I forgot.
Cool.
Let's see. Next, we're going to jump into our markets segment.
Yeah, holy cow. Bitcoin hit another all-time high this week.
Yeah, just another week, another Bitcoin all-time high.
Yep.
Altcoins once again plumbing the depths of despair this week. It's been great. Just great to see. You got to put these alt crashes in perspective because they were up so much this year. Like,
right.
I will say that I'm surprised by the length of this latest bear cycle for altcoins. I did not think it would be like, kind of a two straight months of sliding versus Bitcoin. I thought there would be like a couple of longer breathers in the middle there, which haven't really panned out. It's kind of just been a long slide.
Well, it was so unusual when all the alts and Bitcoin were going up at the same time.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
had never seen that part before when we were tracking it.
That's true. That's a good point.
And that trend is totally gone. Now when Bitcoin goes up, alts go down, and when Bitcoin goes down, the alts continue to go down.
They go down even faster, yep. So let's see. What is the situation like
Bitcoin
this week?
Is up $428.47.
Yeah, it was crazy. Shot up to, I think, 6,200 was the high.
Something around there.
I got 61.99.90 on Bitfinex was the high.
Yep.
So yeah, that's pretty great stuff, man.
So that's up about little over 7.5%.
Yep, it's back to about 59.50 for where we calculate that 7%.
Ethereum, on the other hand, down about 10%.
Yeah, Ethereum lost $34, man. Once again, Ethereum has been faking me out like crazy. I keep expecting kind of Ethereum to maybe lead the charge for a potential altcoin reversal. And we had seen some signs of it in the weeks, like a couple weeks ago, where Ethereum was kind of outperforming Bitcoin a little bit, and where Ethereum managed to post some gains on a week where Bitcoin also had a big move. And so I kind of got to thinking maybe this would be the week for Ethereum, but it turned out exactly the opposite. Ethereum basically dropped back down below 300, down about 10.4%.
So looking at the top 100 coins by market cap, 36 of them are up versus USD, and 19 of them are up versus Bitcoin this week.
Just about everything losing, basically in all denominations.
So what was up?
Look at this. The top 100 altcoins gave up 13% of their value versus Bitcoin.
Oh, wow.
And that's the same as their median change, so that's kind of spread across the board. Still down 6% versus US dollar also.
Dang.
Yep, so our gainers and losers this week, there was one shining star in the sea of altcoins this week.
Yep, had to be Vertcoin.
Our old homeboy Vertcoin. I love that, man. It used to be in like the darkest days of altcoins in like 2015. It was Vertcoin was like the first coin to actually pull off like a huge mega pump again.
Yeah, so some coins are starting to see some interesting action for sure. Stellar Lumens was also up about 52%.
Regal coin up 22, Nav coin up 15. See, even the biggest winners are really just posting pretty small gains here.
Yeah.
These are versus Bitcoin, these numbers.
Ripple kind of ate it this week, down 29%.
Ripple looks awful. I had a Ripple position open. It doesn't look so good anymore. Obviously should have sold when I had a chance, but let's see here. We also have Enigma down 38, Centra down 38, Chainlink down 35, Funfair down 27. It looks like a bunch of just ICO stuff getting owned. I'm curious to see what the depths really look like for some of these ICOs too as we enter a bigger bear market, because we're kind of used to drawdowns in an altcoin bear market can be like 99%. That's nothing. 90% is probably pretty normal. And I'm curious to see what some of these ICOs look like, when they're sitting at 1 to 10% of their.
They started off so high too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Be interesting.
As far as what changed in the top 100, kicked out of the list this week was Enigma, Melon, Edgeless, Sonum, Storage, and RLC. All got booted out.
And replacing them was Ash, Zencash, SmartCash, No Limit Coin, Neblio, and Zcoin.
Interesting to see the Zcash clones pumping while Zcash is kind of struggling. Is Zcash going up? I actually don't even know.
It's way lower than it was.
All right.
I don't know what it's doing today.
Cool. Ready? So that is the top 100 altcoins there. We're also going to take a quick look at our Ethereum Index. This is a index of Ethereum tokens.
Right.
So I was expecting these to be looking really bad based on what the losers section looked like above. But the Ethereum Index actually performed a little bit better than the top 100. It held flat versus US dollar, only lost about 6.7% versus USD.
Wow.
There's 38 coins on this list.
Average percent change versus Bitcoin is down quite a bit there, though, almost 10%.
Some of these that went down aren't in our index. That is part of it. But the winners there on our index, Pillar was probably the biggest one, then Zarum.
And Quantum Resistant Ledger, also up a little bit, but not too much on that one.
So yeah, interesting there. Another thing we've noticed is that Ethereum tokens tend to do a little bit better when Ethereum itself is doing poorly, and that kind of holds true a little bit again this week. They were still down, but not as down as most things.
So looking at some of those overall numbers then.
We have total altcoin market caps chilling at $72 billion. That's a drop of $5.5 billion in 1 week. We got Bitcoin dominance. That's at 58%. That's up another 3.8%. These are huge gains for this Bitcoin dominance figure.
And even Ethereum dominance Ethereum dominance going down.
Yep.
1.7%.
Yep, Ethereum underperformed the broader altcoin market this week. If you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, it's doing that like Mu pattern. It's really bullish for Bitcoin. Not as good for altcoins, but I don't know how valid it is to be doing TA on random. Just random.
You can TA anything.
You can TA any chart.
Yeah, sure. All right. So, and with that, we will move into our DOT giveaway.
That's right. We love giving away them DOT. So the way it works, you got to send us a tweet to @ChainDynamics. We need to be a tweet, not a direct message, because then everyone can see it.
That's right.
You're going to tweet the answer to this question, and then if you get it during the live show, we will send you the 10,000 DOT.
The question is, name the coin who has a Genesis block on July 21st, 2013, and an initial coin reward of 2,048 coins per block.
Ooh, that's a nice reward. Once again, the question there, name that coin that has a Genesis block from 7/21/2013. That's our American numbering system, I guess. July 21st, 2013. And an initial coin reward of 2,048 coins per block.
Good luck.
Once again, if anyone gets it by the end of the show, they'll get the dot. Otherwise, we'll roll it over to next week. So next we're going to jump into our coin listing segment. This is where we take a look at all of the coins that have made it onto exchanges this week. And then we kind of will chat about the coins a little bit, catch up on them.
Yeah, nothing on Cryptopia or Poloniex to mention this week.
That's kind of surprising. A little quiet.
Bittrex listed Salt.
Salt. This is another Ethereum token. We actually checked this coin out on a show. What episode was it?
75.
Episode 75. So what was that, a couple months ago? 3 months ago?
Yeah.
So you can check that out. It's a lending platform. I think
based on Ethereum, or built on Ethereum.
Built on Ethereum. Is it tied to Shapeshift or something? Maybe it's...
No, that's the Prism one.
Oh, right. So that is Salt token that got listed over there on Bittrex.
And then on Novaexchange, they listed MFH coin.
MFH coin. Mega financial holding.
Right.
I love this stuff.
This is really just a basic 10% pre-mine POW coin.
Is Novaexchange do a fee? Is it a fee?
Yeah. Yep. They'll list for a fee.
Do you know what the fee is?
Well, it's probably one of the more inexpensive ones at this point. I don't know what it is offhand.
I'm curious to know what an inexpensive fee is, because I know Cryptopia is pretty pricey to get a listing these days.
It is, yeah. I'll look that up.
The coin itself just has a high pre-mine. Looks like a pretty generic cash grab type coin.
Another coin called Surge was listed, and I wasn't sure which one this was. I can't really find any information about it. There's been a couple coins with that name.
Not always easy.
BitcoinCash script was listed.
BitcoinCash script, I like that.
This is just another, once again, pre-mine proof of work coin.
Big pre-mine.
Yeah.
End of proof of work at block 300,000. This is one of those things. You can't just end the proof of work if you don't have a proof of stake system, which makes, I never know if it's either just that poorly designed or if there's also a proof of stake system.
It looks like it does. It looks like it's at 40% interest on the proof of stake.
Oh, there it is.
On
okay.
this one.
I didn't see it there. Okay, nice.
All
right. Well, that's BitcoinCash script.
Right. Another listing on Novaexchange this week was Taj coin.
Oh, really? Nice. Sweet.
Yep. From the old homie Stay Secure.
Oh, man, this Taj thread's looking good, man. Nice. I'm all about it.
Taj is a tribute coin to his son for, I think it was his 4th birthday or something like that.
Yep, this developer made coins basically for
his children.
For people that are close to him in his life. And Taj is one of them. It's kind of funny when people make coins like these because sometimes they just get more momentum than you might expect. So it's pretty funny to see this one making its way to Novaexchange.
Another coin listed there this week is Starcash.
Starcash, alrighty.
For me, this one falls right into the same category with MFH and BitcoinCash script. These are all very similar to me in that they are really simple proof of work coins with kind of high pre-mines.
Where did you see the pre-mine on this one?
I'm
sure it's in there, but
I can try to find exactly where I found it before. I don't know, actually. I'm not seeing it offhand now. I felt like I saw it in my research earlier, but...
it just comes down to the... it's like a low level of effort on some of these is the bottom line.
But this doesn't look terrible, right? Like, it's not the lowest amount of effort. But the problem
true.
with these types of coins is, all it takes is 2 months of total abandonment, and then it looks a lot different.
That's the route most of them go. Well, it's like, you don't put anything into it, and if they don't put anything into it, there's no guarantees that you're gonna get anything out of it.
Right.
There is a pre-mine, according to their block explorer here, about 2.5 million.
Yeah. And a lot of that was, they try to earmark it for promotional aspects, which...
Yeah, they'll call it an airdrop or bounties or something, but it's bullshit.
All right, so...
There's not that much promoting that's going on these shitcoins. So yeah, that is Starcash. Really nothing too exciting there on Nova.
Over on Livecoin, they listed OTN.
Okay.
Which is the Open Trading Network.
Sure.
They also listed First Coin.
Oh, these are ICOs. Oh, wait, this says there's no ICO.
Which one are you looking at? OTN?
OTN. This might be an airdrop. If that's the case, it probably would be worth it. Pre-launch and OTN tokens go live on 9 October without ICO. So does that mean that they just pre-mined it and they're selling the pre-mine? Because people do that too.
it might be one of those situations, like exactly like that, where you just don't call it a pre-mine, or you don't call it an ICO. You're just selling tokens to people, basically.
Right. Looks like there is a big giveaway component to it.
Oh yeah, I see the giveaway structure there.
This one might be worth checking out.
Yeah, so it looks like there's a giveaway on that Open Trading Network thread if anybody wants to dive in there.
Take a chance. Just don't run a wallet. Don't run the wallet on a native in your main Windows or whatever. Let's see here.
First coin is
also listed on Livecoin.
Looks like it's related to startup funding.
First coin. This is like the 50th time that somebody's made a coin for crowdfunding, and it's probably pointless.
And then over on Liqui, they listed AirSwap token, which is an ICO for an Ethereum-based decentralized exchange, supposedly. It looks like the ICO is over, but they do not have any proof of concept for the exchange available at the moment.
They also listed another ICO called Request Network.
All right.
I was liking Liqui for getting some of these ICOs before they get onto T-Rex, but...
Well, I think Salt fell into that category.
Yeah, it did. They haven't been... Each one is less, like the premium for the T-Rex listing is less each time. You can kind of see the writing on the wall for that strategy, unfortunately. So, looking back through the listings this week, Salt looks like probably the most significant one. It's always nice to see Taj spreading its legs. Of course.
And,
really quiet week, actually, for listing.
And OTN sounds like it needs to be investigated better.
Yeah, I'd be curious. It's pretty easy to call a pre-mine an airdrop and just have it be just as crappy, but that's what's going on over on the listings front. We're going to close out the show, as always, with a little segment we call the Coin Birthdays.
It looks like Sky Luke got the trivia question.
Somebody got the trivia? Nice, sweet. The answer was Quark Coin.
Yep.
Quark Coin came out on July 2013, July 21st, 2013.
2,048 coins per block.
Nice, sweet.
Great job.
Has anyone ever gotten one of those?
I think so.
Nice.
I think so.
Kudos to you, sir. We will get you those 10,000 dots. Congratulations.
Somebody else guessed Colossus coin prior to that, so I'll have to...
Oh, we have to make sure Colossus isn't valid?
Yeah, I don't think it is, but if you send me a block explorer that shows that Colossus coin was exactly like that, I'll hook you up with some dot as well.
Sweet. Cool. Let's see here. As far as the birthdays go, we have a nice selection of birthdays here.
Yeah, nice little birthday list this year. Or this day.
This week.
Whatever we're doing here.
Whatever increment of time we live in.
1 year birthdays. Ember coin.
Cool.
Was born on October 16th, 2016. Also 1 year old, same day, was a coin called UR. I just remember it from its beach ball logo, and it was like an airdropped Ethereum clone, basically. I'm
actually really surprised to see that one's still around. I was curious to know how some of those Ethereum clones were going to hold up over the years. Cool. I'm glad to see this one still alive. Happy 1 year birthday.
Happy 1 year to both of those coins. Happy 3 year to Woodcoin. No relation. That was on October 21st, 2014.
Nice.
And one funny thing about Woodcoin is it's been like a CCX traded exclusively that whole time. There's not a lot of coins, I think, that could fall into that category.
They inexplicably just haven't delisted it or whatever.
It just does okay over there for some reason. Huh. And then happy 4 year birthday to Unobtanium.
Uno.
October 18th, 2013.
Happy 4 year birthday. Unobtanium.
Those guys didn't delist them on their birthday, did they? My God.
Did T-Rex delist it?
It was definitely right around then. No, it was just like...
It must have been a couple days before, yeah.
I think the delisting was like on the 20th or something, yeah.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
So, but not quite.
It also did like a 800% in 1 day or something crazy. I don't remember how high it actually was.
It went really high up there.
And then got delisted.
Yep. It's still on Cryptopia.
Yep, so happy 4 year birthday to Unobtanium. And I think that is going to wrap it up here this week for the Blockchain Dynamic Show. Congratulations once again to the trivia winner.
Yeah, congratulations. We'll contact you after the show here.
We'll be back next week, I guess, with just a 5,000 dot giveaway again.
Yeah.
We are brought to you, everybody, by cryptopia.co.nz.
That's right. Go check them out. Really great exchange to kind of get in a sense of the deeper coin market.
Yeah, the deeper markets that are out there. Also have some of the best secondary markets that are out there. So if you want to dip your toes into things like Litecoin markets and stuff.
Yep. Litecoin markets and Doge markets.
It's fun stuff, man.
Litecoin's not even like that cheap anymore, so it's you trade half of a Litecoin, that's worth a little bit.
You make a Litecoin, you had a good day.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Check out our website, blockchaindynamics.net.
Yep. This was episode number 84, Air by Trial Radio, and we'll see you next week with heavier bags.
Currency.
Like a couple Bitcoins.
Money,
Pull up on my Nakamoto.